Hi, welcome back to Therapy Designs. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kelly, and this channel is all about print on demand, everything. So if that is a subject that you are interested in, please do stick around. So right now I am on Pretty Much Pro Plus Researcher, and I want to go over with you some things that I've learned while doing niche research and some things that you guys can be thinking about and doing in your niche research so that you can, design effectively and, obviously figure out what niches to use, what niches not to use, what to do, what not to do, what's popular, what's not popular, and all of that. So anyways, we are starting at the very first row of, top selling shirts, okay? And so what I've got is just two rows up here right now. But first thing you can see is that these are all dark colored shirts. Even this one, which is on a blue, and this one, which is on a navy, they're all dark colored shirts with what would look like either lighter white or colorful fonts, or text, though it looks like it's actually majority, I'd say, white text on a dark background. So that's the first thing that you can think when you design. White text on dark background is going to sell the most. Now, Derby Day is coming up really soon, which is why you're seeing the Derby Day shirts. Right now, these will fall off pretty quickly after Derby Day. And then you got some of your Cinco de Mayo stuff that, again, may fall off a little bit after Cinco de Mayo. You've got some of your end of school year stuff that may fall out. So a lot of the ones that you're seeing at the top aren't necessarily evergreen so much as they're specific for events, and then they will fall off. That being said, it does not mean that they're new designs by any stretch. Many of these designs, if we go to look at them, we will find that they have been up for many years. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with just the first one. This is the #1 selling right now, funny Derby Day, design, selling at $17.99, and it's got a BSR of 2,421. So the lower that number is, the better, and 2,000 is really low. So that is a very good BSR. If I click on this, what I'm going to learn is that this design was put up 5 years ago. So this design has been up and it has been selling for 5 years. Now, it may have taken several years before it started selling. It may have been up for several years and not gotten a single sale. But now it is selling, and now it is selling well, and it has been up for a long time. So that's the first thing you can look at, is to see, a lot of these bestsellers really have been up for a while. You're going to see another thing that I look at when I'm looking at things like the title and then the branding. Many of these, the brand is not actually like a specific brand. A lot of them will kind of almost rehash the title in the brand to give, more keywords. This one says Fun Horse Racing Shirts by Spirit Taffy. Now, I don't know if that's an actual brand or that's just more of their ways of putting some more keywords there as well. So sometimes you can't just look at one shirt, but I look at themes throughout many shirts to see kind of what is doing well. This one, very small description, so not a lot in the description. Funny horse racing, thoroughbred horse, funny derby hat, minty party drink. So those are sort of the keywords that they put on here. But like I said, this one's been up for a long time. So let's look at some more. Here's a second one. This is also a Derby Day design. And one thing you can look at, by the way, is also your ratings. So down here, this one has 106 ratings. It's been up for 5 years, so it's had more time to accumulate reviews. The newer shirts, you won't see a lot of reviews yet because they're new. So even if they're trending and selling a lot, you're probably not getting a lot of reviews right away. So that gives you a little bit of an indicator of how old that shirt is. So this one, I'm assuming, is maybe a little bit newer. It's only got 49 reviews. It's selling at $18.99. It's been up for 3 years. Okay, so 3 years. And again, you've got your funny Derby Day mint julep Kentucky horse racing. That's the name of the shirt. And then the brand, Derby Kentucky horse racing and mint juleps. So again, they didn't put a specific brand name. They copied, keywords from the title and put it in the brand to add more keywords. And so that is something that you may notice with a lot of the top sellers. And I've had this question before: shouldn't you put your brand name in the brand? And my answer to that depends on whether or not you are a brand and you're trying to push your brand name out there and become a brand that people search for. If not, if you're just more generic, then you're more likely to get traction by just using more keywords in your brand. And so that is something that I see a lot of, just looking at the top sellers. And so again, this one was put out 3 years ago. It has a much longer description, and it uses a lot of keyword stuffing. Great apparel, birthdays, who love spring, horse racing, mint juleps, Kentucky, Southern traditions, perfect for horse racing, men, women, equestrians, horseback riders, funny hats, derby lovers, bourbon drinkers, so they're packing a lot of keywords in here so that they can get, mentioned on all of these keywords. So never copy somebody's description word for word, by the way, because I've had people do that to mine, and it's really obvious that they just copied and pasted. But you can definitely look at the top sellers, see what they're doing, and get some ideas. So if you notice that they're putting a lot of these types of keywords, then you think, well, maybe I should include some of those keywords in my description. So again, I never, ever recommend copying anybody's anything, but you can definitely look at what is selling and get some ideas and be able to sort of analyze what's working and what's not working and utilize that. And so that's, top 2 selling designs right now. And so, I mean, I can kind of keep going. And again, I'm looking at general prices. That's a cheap one. But generally, I've got a $19.99, a $19.99, an $18.99, $17.99. So being priced at $19.99 is not a deterrent, and that's what I'll usually say. Price your shirts around $18.99, $19.99. I mean, if you got ones that are really doing well, you can go higher than that. But the top sellers aren't the ones that are like, $13. Not necessarily, unless they put it up and forgot about it. They tend to be priced a little bit higher. And so I can go ahead and keep scrolling down here. And so we can just sort of take a look at the different things that are doing well. Still a lot of derby shirts right now. And then a lot of Cinco de Mayo ones right now. Cinco de Papo, more derby shirts, more Cinco de Mayo. So you'll get a lot of those that are just, they'll come and they'll go, more Cinco de Mayo stuff. But what I'm looking at is I'm still getting mostly dark backgrounds. I'm still getting mostly white or light colored fonts or text. I'm getting a combination of text and graphics, right? A lot of these, like this one here, holy Jesus, this one's got a ton of reviews. Oh my God, over 2,000 reviews. It's priced pretty low. So my guess is this one has been here for a long time and now they can't raise their price. So let's take a look. So this one was put up 5 years ago. And 5 years ago, it was probably put up pretty cheaply. And either, I don't know why they haven't raised their price in 5 years. Either they've completely forgotten about it, or it's got, here it is, it's got words like gift that are no longer allowed to be used. So you can no longer use the word gift. So if they were to go and change their price, they may be afraid that the whole thing would get rejected because it has the word gift. And so that may be one reason why the price hasn't gone up in 5 years. But if it's still selling, they may not want to risk changing anything. So now you can't do that, but you could see that 5 years ago, people did a lot of keyword stuffing, and this one was like big time. I've got mom's shirt, dad's shirt, daughter, son, aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa, friends, neighbors, coworkers, right? Gift for birthday gift, Christmas gift, Valentine's Day gift, Mother's Day gift, Father's Day gift, gag gifts. I mean, so this one was really, really keyword stuffed, big time. They won't let you do that anymore. But that's probably why this one is still selling really well and why it's still so cheap. But again, just things that you can look at and think about when you're doing stuff. Here's one that I found interesting. So the totality, the eclipse, that just happened. So you might think, oh, well, this must be a new design. because that eclipse literally just happened a few weeks ago. But if I click on this, even this design, after I looked at it, this was put up 4 years ago. So somebody had the forethought to think, I know there's going to be an eclipse in 4 years. I'm going to make the shirt now, put it up 4 years in advance, and wait 4 years for it to start selling and sell big. And it did sell big, and it's probably going to drop off now that the eclipse is over. But that is an example of somebody thinking very far in advance. And again, the brand, it's probably not the name of a brand so much as it is just more keywords there and there. It was put up 4 years ago, so let's see. Does it have the word gift in it? No, I don't think so. No, but this was definitely thought up way in advance, right? So still going down, by the way, what you can see, I don't know if you've noticed this, it's hard to tell on these, but these are all t-shirts. Now, I'm not searching best-selling t-shirts. I'm selling best-selling products on Amazon merch. So it just so happens that all of the best-selling products thus far have been t-shirts. So all of these are t-shirts, 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 all dark colored t-shirts. Occasionally you might get, oh look, here's one light colored t-shirt, but all of the rest are dark. This one, well, you can't sell that, and I bet you can guess why, so I would just ignore those kinds. But most of them all dark colors, and most of them have probably been up for quite a while. And so one thing to keep in mind then is you may not want to compete with the ones that have been up for a while. Not only because the niche is probably saturated, because people have seen that design selling well and probably made their own version, and there's probably 10 billion versions up, but also because when you go to search as a customer for that design, the one that's been selling well, it's going to be Amazon's pick. It's going to be on page 1. It's going to show that it's had, 200 plus sales in the past month, and it's going to have all of these reviews. And so even if your design made it to page 1 right next to it, people might not want to buy your design, even if it was great, because Amazon is telling them, hey, look, this one's popular. It's sold a lot. It's got good reviews. So they're probably going to end up going towards that one anyways. So it's not necessarily in your best interest to try to compete with the ones that have been up for years and that are already selling really well and that are already really saturated. So I don't necessarily go through these lists to come up with niches that are doing well right now, other than to say, hey, Cinco de Mayo is good, or hey, this is Derby season. But I'm not necessarily going to copy any of these niches because I know that they're saturated and I know that they've been up for a long time and they're pretty, set in their position. But I am getting ideas of, what kind of pricing people use, what kind of products do the best, what colors do the best, what style, what, just everything. So it's giving me ideas when I design to make sure that my designs are going to be efficient and are going to be, set up for, optimal performance. And so again, mostly dark. Now I do want to show you, I've come down, so I don't know how far down I went. I'm several lines from the top here. Okay, so here we go. These are all t-shirts, all t-shirts, all t-shirts, all t-shirts, still all t-shirts. I come down here, this is the first tank top. And I can tell it's hard to tell, but the tank tops, the graphic is going to sit way lower in the page. So when I open that, you're going to see the graphic is actually on a tank top. There's your tank top, and that's why it's sitting so low. And so that's how I can tell if it's a tank top or a t-shirt. So this, the very first tank top that I see in the top sellers, it was put up 3 years ago. So it's been there for a while. There have been many knockoffs. Trust me, I know because this is my design. So I was just looking today and there are a lot of knockoffs, several pixel by pixel copies of it, several that made their own version, which is totally fine. I mean, they used kind of the general layout and the general colors, but they did their own thing, totally okay. But then I had people that copied and pasted my description verbatim. So there's definitely the copiers out there. I don't recommend copying that, but I do still sell this one over 200 a month. It's been up for 3 years. And I want to tell you guys, there it is. That's that one, that Ching. That was this one that just sold. But it didn't start selling right away. This was probably up for a year with absolutely no sales at all before it started selling. So sometimes you'll put up a design and it could go a year without selling. It could go 2 years without selling. And then all of a sudden it sells, it becomes popular, and now it's selling 200 plus every single month. And so that's just kind of how it can be. So sometimes you have to put those designs up and wait and be patient. And just because a design hasn't sold in the past, month or 2 months or 3 months or a year doesn't mean that it won't start selling at some point. And so this is a very good example of that, because this one I did put up 3 years ago. And it's selling really well now, but it wasn't really until the past maybe 6-7 months is when it really started selling really well. And it's been up for 3 years. So just FYI. But that is the first tank top I've seen as I'm looking down here. So back to my searching, all the rest are still t-shirts. Here's another tank top. So the second tank top right down here is the It's Not a Dad Bod shirt. And so it is selling for $17.97 for the tank top there. And so again, still dark colors. And several of these, if we were to go ahead and look them up, like this one, I've seen this one up for a long time. The Monster Trucks Are My Jam. God, I remembered seeing that up years ago. 3 years ago. Brand, Monster Trucks Are My Jam. So again, they didn't put up an actual brand name so much as they put up more monster trucks. They don't even have a description on here, so it's not necessarily necessary to write out any kind of description, because Amazon is going to use your title as the main thing. So you want most of your most important keywords to be in your title. And again, a lot of people will copy that over to their brand as well versus putting their actual brand name. It's another one where the price is only $14.99, so I would honestly up the price of this. Yeah, I definitely would, because it's selling really well and it's been up for 3 years. So again, I don't know why they haven't raised that price up. But it's doing really well. And despite the fact that it's doing really well, it only has 168 reviews. So people don't always, stop and review things. You can sell 1,000 of something and get like one person reviewing it. So that's also something to consider. And some of these didn't even have great reviews. Some of the top sellers I remembered looking up, and some of them didn't have the best reviews, but they were still selling because they were really popular. I mean, this one, for example, obviously we can't do that. It's a Disney one, but it has the lowest reviews so far of anything that I've seen, in the 3.4, and yet it is still incredibly popular, so that 3.4 doesn't seem to be stopping anybody from buying it. Now, as I'm scrolling down, other things that I've noticed, a lot of these will have some sort of combination of text and graphics, but you'll see some that are just graphics, and you'll see some that are just text. I mean, so there's no hard and fast rule there. The ones that are just graphics are kind of cool because this can sell in every marketplace. So no matter what language somebody is speaking, they understand the idea of a cat in a pocket, right? And so that is some of the benefits to the graphic only ones. The text only ones, well, gosh, that was so fast and easy to make. I mean, look at this. This is just literally text on a black shirt, boom, and it's selling big. So whoever did this, took them 2 seconds to do that design, and they were fortunate enough. Now, this has been up for 7 years, by the way, so if you were to put this up, yours probably would not sell because it probably wouldn't even be seen. But 7 years ago, somebody made this design super easy. They put, "Please don't make me do stuff for lazy teenager," and then the brand is, "Please don't make me do stuff." And it is selling over 200 a month and probably has been for quite some time. Yeah, and it's priced at $19.99, so it's got a good price to it too. So that person is doing really well. So sometimes it is not about making a really, difficult design. It's not about it being like super thorough. Sometimes it can just be catching on to a funny phrase or a funny saying before anybody else does. And sometimes you can, put things up and it may take a while for it to start selling too. So this might have just been some funny thing that this person heard or saw or thought of on their own. They decided to put it on a shirt. it may have taken a while before it was seen, and then it started selling, and then it takes off. But that, I couldn't tell you how long it took to start selling and whether or not it's actually been selling all 7 years or it was just for sale. This one here, lifetime sales 9,000. Okay, so that's a good healthy profit for just one shirt that probably took a couple minutes to make. That in mind, you don't know how many other shirts this person made that haven't sold. So even though you could say, wow, this person's probably made thousands of dollars in like 2 minutes, it doesn't consider all the minutes that they spent making designs that never sell. So it is a numbers game. But these are all things to think about when you are, designing. And you can also, look at this and come up with, the niches. So talk derby to me. You can trademark check that, make sure it's safe. And you'll see lots of different shirts that say talk derby to me. And so you can look at any of these for examples of niches, and any of these for examples of styles. But again, just because it's selling well doesn't mean that you will sell well, because it may be very, very saturated, right? But I just look through here every so often to see if there's anything new or any new design styles or any changes in patterns or changes in styles that I need to be aware of. Otherwise, I try not to look too closely at these, because I do like my designs, most of them, to just kind of come out of my head. Like I said, the ones I've sold the most are ones that I just sort of came up with on my own that eventually caught on, versus ones where I took a niche that was pre-existing and already had a lot of competition. So, but I will look at this every so often just to give me some ideas. I'm going to go back to my tank top here. Right, there it is. There's my tank top, right? 3 years, it's made over 5,000 sales in 3 years, and really those 5,000 sales, most of them have come in the last year. 49 reviews only, 4.6 on the reviews, and any of the bad reviews that I've gotten is that the print starts washing off. Now, there's nothing I can do about that. That is all about Amazon's printing and maybe how the person is washing it. But so it's a little rough, because sometimes you'll get negative reviews and there's really nothing that you can do about it, and it's usually not your issue. Maybe the shirt was returned and then sent out again and it was dirty, or the washing is bad or the print was bad, and so there's nothing you can really do to control that, but it is there. So I can look and view on Amazon. So if I click that, it's going to pull up the Amazon page here. And so here's the Amazon page, and it'll show you right here, 200 plus bought in the past month. And so when people see that and they see ratings, they're more likely to buy that shirt. So like I said, a lot of people have copied my design exactly. I was just on here this morning and I saw complete pixel by pixel copies of this, obviously priced at less. And yet they're still not selling as well, because Amazon makes sure that mine is at the top and that it says 200 bought in the past month and it has the reviews. So people will still tend to buy this one because it's, it's something that they think is, popular. So like I said, I don't worry too much about the copycats, but I can do a search. All right, so here we go. If I was to just type in support day drinking tank top, this is what is going to come up. Now, this is their overall pick. This one is not mine, but this one isn't doing as well. This one only had 50 bought in the past month. Mine has 200 bought in the past month. Mine has the lower BSR, so I don't know how they decide overall pick which one to pick. This one's more expensive. They're both printed by Amazon, so I have no idea how their overall pick works. But still, if I look at this, mine's on the top line. You're going to look, you're going to see that it's got good reviews. You're going to see that 200 bought in the past month, and you're going to probably lean towards this one. Now, here's one where they kind of copied my design style here. So what you're seeing is it's a different design. It's a different font. It's a different sunglasses. They, obviously copied the layout, and they obviously copied the colors, but, that is perfectly fair game. They're allowed to do that. And it looks like they kind of came up with their own title, hopefully. And this one's actually doing pretty well too. So it's it's got a pretty low BSR. So it is selling. It's also sponsored. So this is somebody who's advertising this, and that's how it's showing up at the top. Mine isn't being advertised, but this one is. So that's why that's showing up at the top. But then I can obviously scroll down and you'll see more versions that are all very similar in style to mine. Again, different fonts, technically, different sunglasses, same general layouts, right? So, I mean, you get a lot of people that will look at what is selling and then try to copy it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that theirs is going to sell. Here's another one. By the way, rank not found. I hate that it keeps doing this. Where it says rank not found, it means it's never sold. So, I mean, this is a nice looking one. It's a good looking shirt, but it hasn't sold any. Here's another one. This one might be mine. I might have come up with a second version of the same one. Sometimes it gets to the point where it's hard to tell which one is yours and which one is a knockoff of yours. Scrolling down here. Okay, here. This is a pixel for pixel copy of mine, complete knockoff, and then they just went ahead and put some little fluff around it. Okay, now, rank not found. This one's never been sold. They're priced at $7.99. Again, a complete copy of mine. They just threw some birds in and, you know, a little boating wheel, a little sun. So they did try to make it their own. It looks like they may have copied, by the way. It looks like they may have copied my description exactly. So there's a little bit there copying. So I don't know if this person copied this themselves, like literally stole the design, or if they bought the design from somebody who stole the design and then tried to make it their own. In which case, they probably didn't know that they were buying a stolen design. I didn't check to see if this is being sold on Etsy or on Creative Fabrica. But, you know, if you ever have any top sellers, people will copy it, people will steal it, people will sell it, people will buy it, not realizing that it's stolen, and they will upload your design. And so, I mean, this is an example of somebody who tried to make it their own, who probably bought it and thought that it was okay to use. But I definitely didn't sell it, so I don't know how they got it. But it is definitely pixel for pixel the same as mine. But I'm not really concerned that it's going to sell. Like I said, it's not at the top. It doesn't, you know, have a lot of ratings. It doesn't have the 200 sales listed on it. And so it's just not going to be seen. So somebody who's looking for this kind of shirt, I mean, they're going to come and they're going to see, and they're going to be like, ooh, I want the one that's popular. I want the one that's selling the most. I want the one that has the better reviews. I want the one at the top. I want the one that says overall pick, you know, whatever. And so a lot of times you don't have to worry about them scrolling down, you know, to look at other copycats, which is why I'm usually not super concerned with the copycats. I don't bother wasting my time to try to get them removed or anything like that. But anyways, sorry, this was a bit of a rant video. I don't know. I was just sort of rambling on for a while, but I hope you still got some useful information in terms of being able to do a little research, being able to see what kind of styles are popular, what products are popular, learning a little bit more about, you know, things to think about when you're designing. So if you have any questions about this, or if you have any requests about any certain video, you can put that in the comment section below. I try to get back to everybody as quickly as I can. If you don't have Amazon Pretty Merch Pro Plus, I do recommend it. It's great. It gives you analytics, it gives you research tools, and it's really cheap, and it's all on the Amazon page. So it's an extension that you can get. It's a Google Chrome extension, but it's great. It's like the only really research tool that I use that I pay for, because it's sort of this all-in-one thing and I don't have to jump around. So that is definitely something you guys can look into if you don't already have it. That is something that I do recommend. I think I covered most of what I wanted to cover. I know people have had questions in the past about SEO. The the best way to, come up with good SEO is, again, to see what the top sellers are doing and to not copy theirs, but copy what's working, So take some of those keywords and, again, write your own description, write your own title, but, you can see what is working well by seeing what is selling well. But just be careful if you're looking at designs that are relatively old. They may have things like gift listed and you can no longer use gift, but the ones that have gift in it a bunch of places are probably getting seen a lot more, but we can no longer use that word, so just be careful that you don't. But so I mean, for my tank top here, yes, people did copy mine exactly. I put that it was a funny summer beach vacation design. I put what it said, supports day drinking. I put that it features retro sunglasses with palm trees, that it's good for men and women who want to drink beer, cocktails, wine, or any alcohol or liquor. And then I listed out different liquors: rum, tequila, vodka, gin, whiskey, at the beach, on a boat, or by the pool. And yes, somebody copied my design and did copy that exactly. You can also scroll down on any of the pages too, by the way. And if you were to scroll down, eventually you're going to get right here, product detail page. And this will tell you when a design was first uploaded. It'll give you the ASIN, it'll give you the BSR, customer reviews. And so if you were to just go on Amazon and, come up with, some niche and type it in to see what's selling, you can look right on Amazon at the top sellers, and you can right on Amazon look and see how long it's been up, what kind of ratings it has, what its BSR is. I mean, you can look at the SEO, so you can look at their title, you can look at their description, and it can give you a good idea of sort of, what you can do with your own designs in terms of writing that. So SEO will change, by the way, platform to platform. So what you would write for a title or description on Amazon is not what you would write for a title or description on Etsy. So just be aware of that. Different platforms have different SEO. So just like here, you might look at something that's selling well and look at their title and tags and everything. You might on Etsy go to a product on Etsy that's selling well and see what they included and what their format looked like. And so you'd have a different style for each platform. And so SEO can get complicated, but the best way is just to start by looking at what's already working and sort of copy that method and style without directly copying the person. Anyways, okay, I'm done with my rant. I'm sorry about that. So I hope to see you guys again next week. I'll have more videos on different topics. I am thinking about doing a video on some KDP journals because I did have a lot of people asking about how they could customize the inside of a journal. And to my knowledge, none of the print platforms will allow you to customize the inside except for KDP. So if you haven't done that, I can do a video on that. Is on my list eventually, along with some, some other design videos, some other videos on like thank you cards that you can use like for Etsy. But anyways, if there's any topic that you want covered, put it in the comment section below, and I'll see if I can add you to my list. And have a great day. I hope you guys get some good sales. That's it for today's video. If you found that useful and would like to see more videos with helpful tips and tricks, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the weekly videos. As always, keep growing and stay creative, and we'll see you next time.